Thank you for staying with us on the Joy News Prime. Time now for the sports. I'm Gary Al Smith, and it's been a seminal day in Ghanaian football history. Some have said that today has been the most significant since 2005, when Kwesi Nyantakyi ascended the throne to become GFA president. Today, we had the extraordinary Congress of the Ghana Football Association, and at that gathering, the normalization committee head, Dr. Kofi Amoah, commended clubs for taking the normalization process seriously.
We have worked hard, and it's also an important assignment for a nation that has a tremendous amount of football talent. But getting to this point has been momentous because of all the things that created the normalization committee. And so you want to take the steps that to make sure that the things that have been identified to contribute to the cause of the downfall are eliminated through legislation, through the statutes. And we also took our time when the statutes came to give it to the football community to weigh in on it. So we have meetings with them and they give us their input and all that. So some of the issues that came up initially were not a surprise to us, and we welcome that because it means that the practitioners of the game, the managers and administrators are taking the process seriously. You know, this one will do this one will do that, we think we should do it this way and all of that. So yes, it's a milestone in the process of normalization, and we are happy, and we thank the delegates, the Ghana Congress delegates, for realizing the important step that we are in to clear that so that we can continue.
So he had that interview with me after the event. So what happened during the event? We do know that we had 123 delegates who were supposed to vote. Let's take a look at the seminal things that have changed, because I know most of you will be wondering if Ghana football is heading anywhere. So the first thing that changed was that Division 1 had its 48 teams maintained, and this will be reduced to an 18-team National Division 1 league after 2 seasons. So why this is important is that the normalization committee had wanted to slash this number down to 24, but after all the consultation, the 48 teams have been maintained, but in 2 years' time, this will become an 18-team National Division 1 league. So that is one of the first rule changes that we saw from the proposed document. Next up for us, we also had, all right, so one other thing that happened was that the Ghana Football Association president will no longer have a unlimited term in office. But another thing is that juvenile football has been maintained. Juvenile football has been maintained, and the normalization committee in its proposals had actually merged them with schools and colleges football to help curb age cheating. So this is what happened today. Now, the third thing is that there are now 120. So for a very, very, very long time, we've all known GFA's Congress to be made up of 123 members. Now it's down to 120, and the normalization committee had actually proposed a very drastic reduction to 94, but the delegates argued, and it's been now reduced to just 120. Next point. This is what I said earlier. The term limit for a GFA president, and arguably this is the most important decision that the general public will be interested in, will be 2 terms of 4 years each. You might recall that when Kwesi Nyantakyi was at the peak of his powers, he tweaked the rules so that he could have an unlimited time in office. We have gone back to 2 terms of 4 years each. So whether you have power consecutively or not, whether you have when you get 2 terms in office, you will go. So, point 5. The GFA Executive Committee will be no more. It will now be called the Executive Council. And the Normalization Committee had actually suggested that it be called something else. They wanted it to be called a Board of Directors, just like in company law, so that they have a chairman. But they will be called the Executive Council. Point number 6, the GFA Vice President will be elected by the Executive Council at its maiden meeting. You might recall that previously the Vice President was appointed by the President, and this is something that Kwesi Nyantakyi also did in his time, that a lot of people were not happy with. So the GFA President will now be elected and not appointed. 7, the Executive Council members can stand for 3 terms of 4 years. Previously, they had an unlimited term in office. All this is to ensure accountability and to ensure that there is no abuse of power. The last thing that we'd like you to know is that the GFA will no longer use government auditors at the end of every year to look into their books, but now we will see internationally recognized auditors to do their job. So it doesn't have to be the any of the audits agencies from the Big Four, the KPMGs, the PwCs and so on. We can even have Ghanaian auditors who are internationally recognized. So these are the 8 key areas that we saw rule changes in. And in reaction to all that, the SWAC President Kwabena Yeboah applauded the Normalization Committee for steering a successful extraordinary Congress.
I've been extremely praised about this Congress, the smoothness. Normally when we go for Congresses, it takes about 2 days. It goes deep in the evening, and you would have thought that there will be a lot of hiccups at this Congress, but I think that I need to commend Dr. Kofi Amoah. I think today he was quite receptive and magnanimous. Did not take entrenched positions. A lot of the proposals that were brought by the clubs were accepted. And I think he conducted himself very well, as well as the clubs. Initially, I thought some of them had decided they were going to really be tough and, as it were, call the bluff of FIFA. That was the initial position.
Yeah, sure.
At a point, it was clear that they were going to be the ultimate losers. And sanity prevailed. And I think it's in the interest of the clubs and of Ghana football that the statutes have been approved and adopted. I think there was one winner today, only one winner, and that winner was football.
Excellent.
Because the truth of the matter is that we become the butt of jokes around the world. I never believed in my tenure as a sports journalist that I'll be confronted with such a situation where Ghana football is on its knees, virtually. I can't believe it. We've gone one whole year without playing active football. This is completely unacceptable. And it's the reason I'm really, really excited about the fact that at least we didn't postpone, the Congress again, because then we didn't know exactly when we're going to start our football. With adoption of the statutes, at least now those who intend to pick positions, in the new FA will start campaigning, hopefully within a month's time. We should be making progress and get our football rolling. So I need to commend all participants at today's Congress, particularly the leadership of the NC.
So many interviews we had after the event, and we'll be playing them across our various bulletins to follow. One was with the presidential hopeful George Afriyie, who is happy that what they call football people are taking hold of the game again.
For the past 14 months, football was not restored to its normalcy. And people were expecting that at least football, the normalization committee, could go down the grassroots to start normalizing football from the regional level to the top. For over 14 months, we've had only one organized NC special committee, and that's not good enough.
Sure.
And so trust me, the reason why we've made concessions to agree to everything that was presented to us except for few amendments is that we believe that let's take hold of our football. We have successive congresses, we can do amendment. Amendments are done in almost every congress that we go. So what we can do is that let's accept everything that is being given to us with the exception of just few modifications that we did.
Sure.
And then take the football. We had the opportunity to improve everything that they've done here today. So it is not like we are so happy, but we think that we need to get hold of
It's
football.
a work in progress.
It's a work in progress.
Our bulletins will be filled with reactions from the GFA Extraordinary Congress. You can also get more information on myjoyonline.com. Thank you for your custom on the spot. I'm Gary Al Smith. The news continues after this.